I know exactly how it feels. You are reading an article or watching a YouTube video. You understand everything. You see complex words like inevitable, subtle, overwhelmed. You nod your head. You think, yeah, I know those words. My English is getting really advanced. 10 minutes later, you are in a real conversation. You want to express a complex idea. You reach into your brain for one of those sophisticated words you know, and there is nothing there. Empty space. Your brain freezes. You panic. And what comes out of your mouth? It is a big problem. A very bad problem. You sound like a 5-year-old. Later, in the shower, 5 hours after the conversation is finished, the perfect word suddenly pops into your head. Inevitable. That was the word. You feel stupid. You feel frustrated. You feel like you are trapped in a brain that refuses to cooperate. You have a Ferrari engine inside your head, but you are driving it with bicycle pedals. I'm Tom, and welcome back to English Adventure. Today, we are going to solve the single most frustrating mystery of intermediate English. Why you can understand everything, but say almost nothing. We are going to talk about the massive, humiliating gap between your passive vocabulary and your active vocabulary. And I'm going to tell you to do something crazy. I want you to stop learning new words. Part 1. The Hoarder Mentality. Why does this gap exist? Why do you know 5,000 words when you read, but only use 500 when you speak? Because you are a vocabulary hoarder. Think about a real-life hoarder. Their house is filled from floor to ceiling with stuff, old newspapers, broken tools, clothes they never wear. They have thousands of possessions. But if they need a screwdriver right now to fix a leak, they can't find it. It's buried under piles of junk. That is your brain on English. You have spent years collecting words. You see a new word, you highlight it, maybe you put it into Anki, you review it a few times. You think, okay, I know this word. Into the collection it goes. You are confusing recognition with ownership. Passive vocabulary, recognition when you see the word, your brain recognizes it. Oh yeah, I've seen that guy before. That's easy. That's low energy. Active vocabulary, ownership when you need to express an idea, your brain instantly, automatically grabs that word and pushes it out of your mouth. That's hard. That requires high energy and instant neural pathways. Right now, 90% of your English vocabulary lives in a deep, dark, messy basement in the back of your brain. When you are in a pressure situation, like a conversation, your brain doesn't have time to run down to the basement, dig through boxes, find the word, and run back up. So, it just grabs the word sitting on the desk right in front of it. Good, bad, nice, big, small. You don't need more words in the basement. You need to clean out the basement and move those words onto the desk where you can actually use them. Adding more new words to your pile right now is useless. It's just more clutter. Part 2. The Input-Output Imbalance. How did your basement get so messy? It's simple math. You spend 95% of your time consuming English, input, and 5% of your time producing English, output. Think about your typical study week. You watch Netflix. You listen to podcasts. You read articles. You do Duolingo lessons where you just tap the right answer. All of this is passive. All of this just throws more stuff into the basement. How many minutes this week did you spend forcing complex sentences out of your mouth? The brain is efficient. It only keeps the pathways open that you actually use. If you only use a word to read, your brain builds a one-way street, eyes-brain. To speak, you need a two-way superhighway, brain-mouth. The only way to build that highway is to drive cars down it. You have to force the words out. If you never force your brain to produce the word, inevitable, in a real sentence under pressure, your brain assumes it's not important enough to keep active. It files it away in the Passive/read only. Boulder. You cannot read your way to speaking. You cannot listen your way to speaking. You have to speak your way to speaking. Part 3. The Activation Protocols. Okay, Tom. My basement is full of junk. How do I move it to the desk? How do I turn passive vocabulary into active vocabulary? We need activation protocols. These are exercises designed to torture your brain into building those two-way highways. They are uncomfortable. They require effort, which is why they work. Here are 3 protocols to start today. Protocol 1, the synonym killer, killing basic English. You rely too much on basic safety words. Words like good, bad, nice, interesting, very. These words are cockroaches. They survive everything, and they infest your speech because they are easy. We need to kill them. Pick one cockroach word a week. Let's start with very. For the next 7 days, you are forbidden from saying the word very. If you want to say very tired, your brain will freeze. Good. Now force it to find the passive word buried in the basement. Is it exhausted? Drained? Wiped out? If you want to say very good, stop. Find the better word. Excellent? Superb? Fantastic? By banning the easy path, you force your brain to bushwhack a new path to the complex words you already know but never use. Write your banned word on your hand if you have to. Do not let it come out of your mouth. Protocol 2, the 5-sentence force. Contextualization. Stop reviewing flashcards by just looking at the English word and saying the definition. That is passive review. It does nothing for speaking. Take 5 words from your passive vocabulary list, words you recognize but never use. Your job is not to define them. Your job is to immediately create 5 distinct, full sentences using that word out loud. Let's take the word reluctant, hesitant to do something. Don't just say, reluctant means hesitant. Say out loud, I was reluctant to go to the party because I was tired. He is reluctant to sign the contract without a lawyer. My cat is reluctant to take a bath. The government is reluctant to raise taxes. Why are you so reluctant to speak English? You are forcing your brain to take the word out of the box, look at it, handle it, and figure out how it fits into different grammatical contexts. You are taking ownership of the word. Do this every morning with 5 different words. Protocol 3. The circumlocution game, the lifeboat. What happens when you are in a real conversation and you completely forget the word? Most learners freeze, panic, and switch back to their native language. They abandon ship. You need a lifeboat. The lifeboat is a skill called circumlocution. This is the ability to describe a word even if you don't know the name for it. It is the single most important skill for maintaining flow when your vocabulary fails. Practice this daily. Look around the room. Pick an object, but pretend the word for it doesn't exist in English. Now, describe it out loud until someone would guess what it is. Look at a stapler. Pretend the word stapler is gone. Describe it. It's a small metal and plastic machine that sits on a desk. You put papers inside it and press down, and it uses a little metal piece to connect the papers together permanently. If you can do that instantly, you never need to panic again. If you forget the word inevitable, you say, it's something that you cannot stop from happening, no matter what you do. The listener will understand. Maybe they will even supply the word for you, and the conversation continues without awkward silence. Stop trying to be a dictionary. Be a describer. The final challenge. Here is the hard truth. You don't have a memory problem. You have an activation problem. You are sitting on a goldmine of vocabulary that you have spent years accumulating, but you are living in poverty because you refuse to dig it up. I want you to try something radical for the next 30 days. Stop learning new words. Put away your frequency lists. Stop highlighting things in your Kindle. Spend the next month doing nothing but activating the words you already recognized in this video. Force them into your conversations. Write emails using them. Talk to yourself in the shower using them. If a word feels uncomfortable in your mouth, that means you need to use it 10 more times today. Move the junk out of the basement and put it on the desk. If you are ready to stop hoarding words and start using them, hit the like button. Subscribe to English Adventure. It's time to clean house. I'm Tom. Speak up.